AutoCAD offers the user lots of possibilities to customize things. How the screen looks, the color and size of things, as well as how things actually work. In this video, we will see how changing just 4 things in our option settings can really make life easier and help us to six-pack our AutoCAD skills. So where do we find the options which we can then change? If no command is active, I can just right-click somewhere here in the middle, and there I find options, or behind the AutoCAD icon I can find options here. Exactly the same thing. And as you can see, there are hundreds of different things we can change here. I'm going to start right at the left under Files. Here we find the automatic save file location. You may know, if we look here at Open and Save, that AutoCAD automatically saves every 10 minutes so that we don't lose too much if AutoCAD just kind of gives up the ghost. Interesting is this thing here, automatic save file location. Why is that? Well, usually it's hidden here somewhere on the C drive in one of these little temp things where everything gets cleaned up from time to time. What I usually like to do is to put the files somewhere else. I already have a directory set up. I can show you where it is here on E. I call it AutoCAD back. I'll save that, and then we navigate there. And we see we have all of the saved drawing files here listed. Why is that useful? Well, for one thing, you can just clean everything up very easily without interfering with other things. But imagine the following situation. You have a project, you make a change, and without actually renaming the file, you carry on working. Then a little bit later, somebody comes and says, well, you know what, that change you did a few weeks ago, and you say, yes, we need to change it back. Okay, if you get paid by the hour, no problem. But if you're actually wanting to get things done quickly and efficiently, how much better it is just to look in this little store of things, just change the file name to a DVG, and then we can just drag and drop it up here, and hey presto, the drawing's open, and we can look for something maybe which we can take out, copy, whatever, to bring things back to how they were before. So that's actually the very first thing that I would do with regard to our options. The second thing is with regard to the color. Now I know there's a big philosophy about whether light screens or dark screens are better for the eyes, or maybe it's a matter of taste, or maybe you're just basically forced to use a particular option because of the layer settings which you use when you're working. Yellow doesn't look so good on a white screen, blue doesn't look so good on a dark screen. How can we change the colors then? Well, firstly, we need to decide whether we want to go dark or light. I'm going to go light. As you can see, the colors we change here, the 2D model space, uniform background, I've already set it to white. You can in fact choose any other color you like. There's quite a range to choose from. The only thing is, if you do use a white screen, it's best also to change the viewport control colors to something like blue. Why is that? Because if you don't, in the layout here, for some strange reason, the text that you see here appears white. White on a white background, a little bit difficult to see. Not impossible, because as soon as you go there with the cursor, you actually get this yellow color. But if you're not quite up to date, not quite awake, it's Monday morning, you can't remember where they are, you might not find them. The third and fourth thing which I always like to change in our options, we find here in the selection tab. The first thing is a PICKBOX size. You may of course ask, what is a PICKBOX? Well, I have here an object and I would like to move it. So I click on move, and then I get this little square. That is my pick box. And with this box, I can pick things. Now, for the young among us, that's maybe not a problem. Yeah, I can pick in there no problem. But until I've had my first coffee, it could be that my hand isn't quite as steady as it should be. And I just find the standard setting is simply too small. Now what we can do is there under options, here, selection, we can actually just move this from side to side in order to set our PICKBOX size. You can also type this as a variable. You don't need to do anything else, just type away. And when you get as far as pick, then box appears, press enter, and then I find personally a value of 5 is good. Depending on the size of the screen, 5 may be good, or maybe 6. I have in fact had a screen where I was using 7. So when I now move it, it's just a little bit easier. For our last option, when we're wanting to 6-pack our AutoCAD skills, also the selection tab. Here we have an option, preview, selection preview when no command is active. What on earth does that mean? Well, basically it means that when we go over objects with our cursor, it could be that they are marked. So the AutoCAD is telling us, well, if you clicked here, this is what you would be clicking. So in this case, it's a hatch object. Here I have an array object. And it's quite useful if you want to know, what is there. It's something which at times can be a little bit irritating. You don't actually want to click anything. You're just there with your cursor, with your crosshairs, and things keep getting marked. And the larger they are, of course, the longer it takes. We're talking only about milliseconds, but it can be just a little bit irritating. Now, if it's a small drawing, doesn't matter. Nobody notices. But if you have a fairly large drawing, it can be very irritating. So I just turn it off. Options, selection, when no command is active. OK. And now nothing happens. Only when I actually then activate a command, then it says, oh, if you click here, you'll have this. Oh, if you click there, you'll be picking that. So, which is actually what you want. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to write them below. A thumbs up is always appreciated. And if you'd like to receive notice when new videos are posted, then do subscribe.